Coming up, looming deadline. The United States government will shut down tomorrow if Republicans and Democrats can't compromise. What will this mean for D.C. residents? We've got some answers straight ahead. And gun control? A new law against assault rifles in Maryland is causing a stir among locals in the wake of the Navy Yard shooting. District Wire News starts right now. Good afternoon, I'm Sydney Kashiwagi. The first government shutdown in 17 years is looming in Washington, D.C. today. Congress has until midnight to figure out the battle over the budget. The Senate returned today at 2 p.m. The Democrat-run Senate has vowed not to pass any bill that defunds Obamacare. The Senate's response would go back to the House for voting this evening. Health insurance exchanges, a key part of Obamacare, is scheduled to open tomorrow. If Congress can agree on how to fund the Affordable Care Act, the U.S. government will shut down starting October 1st. This will not just affect the government, but D.C. residents. Jade Vakil has more.
Life continues as normal in the nation's capital. Employees take the metro and buses to work downtown. People run errands, garbage is collected. But if Congress can't make a decision on the budget of the Affordable Care Act, this could all change.
A microscopic, minute level, though, too, when it comes to federal workers, it is going to halt, productivity here in the city.
If the government shuts down starting October 1st, D.C. residents could see big changes in their daily lives. Daily trash collection will come to a halt. D.C. libraries would lock their doors. Government-funded buildings like the Smithsonian Museums and Zoo will be closed until the shutdown ends. D.C. could lose almost $200 million in tourism from the shutdown alone. While these are just some of the issues D.C. will face, some people are concerned this will affect America's image in the rest of the world.
Our own national efforts to recover from the Great Recession, as it's been termed, and therefore it's also going to affect foreign markets, as you see right now in Japan or in China. We're all connected.
The last government shutdowns in 1995 and 1996 cost the U.S. $1.4 billion. D.C. locals and the rest of the U.S. will know by midnight if the government is going to shut down. This has been Jade Vakil reporting for District Wire News.
As the federal government shutdown looms, some may be wondering how they'll get around the city if shutdown does occur in D.C. Metrorail and Metrobus have announced today that their services will continue to run despite a federal government shutdown. According to Metrorail and Metrobus officials, if a shutdown lasts for over 7 days and if there are significantly less amount of riders, they will make adjustments to right-size capacity. Starting tomorrow, the cost of Metrorail SmartTrip card will drop to $2 as Metrorail attempts to make the new cards available to more people and transition from a paper fare card system. Riders who purchase the cards can still pay the original $10 at any CVS pharmacy or at any Metrorail system, but now their cards will come preloaded with $8 instead of $5. This year, Metro plans to upgrade to a more digitalized system. Commuters using Metro's Orange Line, beware of rush hour delays today. 2 broken down trains, one at Metro Center and one at Dunn Loring, caused morning strife on the Orange Line. On top of that, a switch problem at the West Falls Church stop made problems even worse. Metro announced normal service has resumed and the evening commute should not be affected. A new Maryland law limiting the purchasing of guns goes into effect today, but only if gun advocates can't stop it first. Jolia Gronin has more.
Gun advocates in Maryland are suing to try to block legislation passed by Governor Martin O'Malley that limits gun sales. The new law that would be going into effect today would require buyers to be fingerprinted and licensed by the state.
I'm a gun owner and I'm a proponent of Second Amendment rights. That said, I think that there can be reasonable restrictions on your Second Amendment rights. The problem in America isn't with people having guns, it's with the wrong people having guns.
It also bans the selling of assault-style rifles and high-capacity magazines. Marine officer candidate Ben Lynn Franke has experience with these kinds of weapons.
I do not believe that the average individual would know how to safely operate the weapon. However, the average person is not the one purchasing the weapon. They're very expensive and very powerful weapons, and generally if you are going to have an interest in that weapon, you've had some sort of training, be it how you were raised. I was raised on a farm and shooting firearms since I was a small boy, and I've also had military training, and my father was a police officer, so that's how I got into firearms.
Maryland gun advocates say that this is an unconstitutional violation of their Second Amendment rights because Maryland police would not be able to quickly process all of the licensing applications.
With how long it would take with these background checks, fingerprinting, all the logistics of the Maryland law, it really doesn't seem reasonable to me that people should have to wait that long to be able to acquire their weapons for defense.
Reporting for District Wire News, I'm Jonia Gronin.
The Department of Education is launching a campaign this fall to better inform student loan borrowers about federal repayment and forgiveness programs that are available to them. The department is trying to help prevent students from going into default with their loans and paying more than necessary. Student loans currently account for the second most type of consumer debt, and out of the 37 million Americans who are in debt, 22% of these students have gone into default. Half of DC's public school principals have been deemed developing and ineffective, according to evaluations that combined academic evaluations such as supervisor observation and test scores. The ratings were received by school administrators this month, taken from the 2012 to 2013 school year. Results have caused immediate protests from DC principals who say they are unfair. Principals with the highest ratings were eligible for bonuses up to $30,000. DC could become the next government to legalize marijuana. A councilman introduced a bill that would legalize small amounts of marijuana to the DC Council. The bill would allow adults over 21 to possess up to 2 ounces of marijuana. The government would also impose a 15% tax. The issue is gaining attention because of the high rates of arrest for the marijuana possession in the district. DC universities are working on extending their jurisdiction for on-campus police to include local neighborhoods. Isabella Diaz has the latest.
University campus police work to provide safety and security for their students. But what happens when those students disturb the peace? 8 DC universities want to change policies that currently allow only the Metro Police Department and local police to be on call for issues concerning neighborhoods bordering campuses. Expanding on-campus police jurisdiction would allow those police to discipline students off campus for disturbing locals. Students at American University say extending coverage would actually prove to be a positive.
I think there are a lot more pros than cons to extending the jurisdiction. I think it would actually help the DC community be safer and help like innocent bystanders.
American University staff said expanding police jurisdiction was not only meant for the purposes of disciplining students. It would also allow police departments from all the DC Metro universities to assist one another in the case of a larger crisis. Some GW students, however, say that extending the University Police Department's jurisdiction would allow for UPD to unjustly crack down on Greek life.
You know, our neighbors here in Foggy Bottom, they're cognizant of the fact that, we're a university and that college students, they get rambunctious sometimes, but I think that we just want to coexist better rather than have such like a volatile relationship.
However, as local policy currently stands, on-campus police can only patrol as far out as the local sidewalks. Reporting for District Wire News, I'm Isabella Diaz.
Coming up after the break, DC drivers. How bad are they? We'll tell you how they rank nationwide after the break, and why DC is so difficult to drive in. And eating on American University's campus, it's not that easy anymore, unless you're willing to stand in line. We'll explain. Stay with us.